The first person to ever fly in space has been canceled by a prominent space organization because he was Russian. And I'll get to other examples in this video of how insane this has become. So to be clear, this person and these people I'm going to reference in organizations or restaurants that have also been targeted here, they have nothing at all to do with Putin's invasion of Ukraine, Putin's reprehensible, disgusting invasion. These people have nothing at all to do with this. This is actual cancel culture. So, criticizing your favorite, podcaster or comedian because they said something stupid, that isn't cancel culture. That is simply criticism. These people are losing opportunities, are being targeted, are being wiped from history simply because of who they are. So this is the latest example. Space conference censors name of first human in space because he was Russian. The silliest part, Yuri Gagarin, is actually pretty popular in Ukraine. So this is the Space Generation Fusion Forum, brought to you by the Space Foundation. And as they write here, so this is actually from the web archive because they have since deleted this note because of the pushback, but they have still renamed this event. So they write here, in light of current world events, the 2022 Space Foundation Yuri's Night is renamed a, quote, celebration of space. Discover what's next. The focus of this fundraising event remains the same, to celebrate human achievements in space while inspiring the next generation to reach for the stars. So they have renamed this event because this guy was Russian. Is this going to stop Putin? What is this supposed to do? What is erasing history supposed to do? This is so bizarre to me. Now, to be clear, this is not, the most important thing in the world, but this has a cultural impact. To erase an important member of history, so the first person to fly in space, actually, to be clear on Yuri Gagarin and his history. So on April 12th, 1961, he became the first person to ever fly in space, doing it at the age of 27. He orbited the Earth for almost 2 hours, almost died on re-entry when his service module failed to properly detach. And then he died in 1968, well before the fall of the Soviet Union, when his plane crashed. And guess what? He was never canceled during the Cold War. But for some reason, he's being canceled now. Before I get to other examples of how ridiculous this canceling has been, you have here an example of how he was beloved in Ukraine. Rather lovely stamp from Ukraine commemorating the 50th anniversary of the flight of Yuri Gagarin. Also here, tribute to Yuri Gagarin by Ukrainian Andrei Polval in Kyiv. So a Ukrainian artist did this incredible painting of Yuri Gagarin. So again, what's this supposed to solve? Erasing this man from this well-known global space organization at this event makes no sense at all. Now, one last thing before I get to other examples. This is his quote, showing you also his outlook. So it's not like, he was a bad guy that did bad things. No, this was a wonderful man who had an incredible achievement and was actually a good person. Quote here, looking at Earth from afar, you realize it is too small for conflict and just big enough for cooperation. That's his quote. Unbelievable. Some other examples of how insane this stuff is. Montreal Symphony Orchestra drops Russian piano prodigy from concerts amid backlash. Again, why? What does he have to do with anything? Russian businesses in the U.S. face backlash over war in Ukraine. Quote, we've had people call and say they would bomb us, the owner of a Russian restaurant in California said. And you've seen images of, it looks like their glass or their window was broken, but I've seen other images of that as well. Russian restaurants, windows broken for some reason. Again, nothing at all to do with Putin's invasion of Ukraine. So completely bizarre. People get really weird during moments like this. This as well, the Cardiff Philharmonic removes Tchaikovsky from program in light of Russian invasion of Ukraine. So there was going to be a concert of Tchaikovsky by this orchestra. It was canceled because of the invasion. Like, what does this have to do with anything? People are so weird. Another example here, a Russian movie maker with Ukrainian roots and relatives in Kyiv denounced the war. The Glasgow Film Festival dropped his film anyway. This next example to me is maybe the most ridiculous one. Poutine, not Putin. Classic Quebec dish off the menu in France and Canada. French restaurant threatened for selling fries, cheese, and gravy snack that sounds like the Russian leader. How more insane can you possibly get? This is actual cancel culture. Again, you can argue not the most important thing in the world when there are people dying, refugees fleeing, not just Ukraine, but various countries around the world. Yes, there is real death and destruction going on. But these sorts of, things that like this sort of reaction to those events is bizarre and needs to be called out. And what I've noticed a lot of is that there really isn't a lot of the left calling this out. And they should be, because this is ridiculous. And it also, if we are to call it out, it helps us in our arguments when we, discuss or criticize, a comedian or a podcaster for spreading lies or misinformation or whatever. Because it helps to clarify what is and isn't actual cancel culture, because those things are not cancel culture. That's criticism. This is actual canceling people, places, things, history, simply because of the origins of them, or the name, or Poutine sounding like Putin. And I believe, I'm not confident in this, but I believe the actual way to say Putin in French is Poutine, so that's part of it as well. But still, this is absurd. It's completely absurd. We have to have a level head in a situation like this. Understand who is actually doing the invading, who is actually committing the atrocities, and who isn't.